Greetings, gentle viewers!
And howdy! In the last episode, a whole bunch of really interesting stuff happened.
You know, like the end of a chapter stuff.
And now we embark on the most exciting aspect of high school, studying.
Everybody's favorite activity. Thus, we shall begin in the tried and true method of every student who begins to study. Put it off and do something else first. Right as we began to record, our cat decided to do its professional duty. It found a rat in the house.
And proceeded to play with it for a good 15 to 20 minutes.
And then, the poor miserable rat's life force exhausted, unable to flee anymore, the cat ate the rat head first. However, he had previously indulged in some delicious cat food, so he wasn't that hungry, so he only ate the top half. So we have the bottom half of a mouse, tail on the one end, and blood and guts, contents of the stomach, organs spilling out in the front end. Cat looks at it, thinks for a minute, bats it around to see if he'll be amused. He was not.
And neither were we.
He looked longingly at his bowl of cat food again. Perhaps he should wash down his half of a rat with some cat food.
Okay.
But he decided not to. He then went to clean himself and take a nap. His job well done. So I disposed of the half of a mouse corpse and all of its organs.
And I cleaned up the bloody chunks on the carpet. Speaking of cleaning up the bloody chunks of a gruesome murder, where are the Bittersweet gamers?
I'm not going to ask. I'm afraid you'll tell me.
And I'm we squared.
Okay, let's get to it. You guys probably won't see that much of it, though. There's no reason to study for a test that you're not even taking. I'm the one taking it. Before anything else, let's get this taken out of the way. Oh, why look, it is glasses. I quite like glasses.
You would.
No, they really do suit her. I don't know about for battle or something. Huh, there we are. Oh, Principal Le Guin, you wear glasses? I've never even seen this. That's a little surprising. Well, actually, for some reason, I am indeed a superhuman. My vision is unusually keen.
The glasses actually dampen down her vision so she can read properly.
I can see everything in excruciating detail, from up close to a great distance away. Sometimes I find myself getting annoyed by specks of dust floating in the air.
Oh my
Have
God.
you ever been talking to someone and all you can see is the dust in the air in front of their face? It is very distracting. So, to combat this issue, I commissioned these glasses to, yes, Billy, you were right, suppress my vision.
What the hell?
That's somehow not surprising at all. No wonder. She is genetically invincible. She is put on this earth to be the strongest human. Anyway, all that's left to do for the exams tomorrow is to leave them to the students. Is there something you'd like to ask me? About Ouroboros, perhaps? Yeah, so you knew. What are your thoughts about the report that the Jaegers and Ouroboros have pulled out of Erebonia? I'd certainly recommend taking it with a grain of salt. The Ions, the Black Workshop, there are far too many unseen forces at work here. Yeah, I agree. Regarding the Maiden, we've reached an answer of sorts, for better or worse. She definitely called upon her full power when fighting the two of us.
Really?
But what if there was something more to her? Something beyond the power of a human, beyond one's full strength? If she's out of the picture for good, then that's fine. Otherwise, we need to be ready for her. For real. And by we, I mean all of you. I have gotten my satisfaction. It's up to you now. Understood. I'll definitely keep that in mind. And we get costume pieces for her. It's a good point, really. There's no reason that a lot of the protagonists in these games should really ever have been able to win in some of the situations they did. That would be that calling upon power that surpasses your full strength. And so what Aurelia was saying is, well, they can do that too.
Yeah.
Also, for crying out loud, what is she, Harrison Bergeron? Is she gonna have to wear headphones to suppress her hearing and weights on her legs so she doesn't accidentally jump through the ceiling?
The spoiler is that cloak that she wears is actually lead.
Though admittedly, I actually really like wearing headphones or earplugs. Otherwise, the excess of sounds and people's conversations in a grocery store start to like chew up my brain. It's really annoying. As soon as I actually tried wearing earbuds in a store once, I was like, this is sweet bliss! So I get it. I get it.
See, now that you've removed the cape, her speed has doubled.
Doesn't she look like a high-class secretary? Yeah, we're gonna keep it the way it is, thanks.
I didn't see it till you pointed it out. Reen, did you see this week's Imperial Chronicle?
No, not yet. Something interesting in there?
Yeah, they wrote about the main campus's field exercises.
I see. I'll have to take a look.
More than anything, we should be focusing on exams. They start tomorrow, after all. Reen, make sure you answer any questions your students might have.
Oh, what kind of teacher would I be if I didn't? But more importantly, let's get to this Imperial Chronicle.
Oh, is that so? I can't help but notice that the coverage of the two different events of the military campuses does not have equal handling. They sure do seem to not really mention that it was the branch campus that helped out in Lamar, but man, they're all about talking about Crown Prince Cedric not being your average student, says one's classmate.
Right. It is interesting that apparently what they did was take out a factory, like one of the 13 factories.
That's impressive. Yeah.
That was in North Ambria, but they're not really too interested in the branch campus.
Yeah, it's just like, incidentally, the branch campus also did a thing, but we want to talk about Crown Prince Cedric.
What I think is fascinating is they give most of the credit for what happened in Lamar to the Unified Regions Army and basically none to the branch campus.
Yeah.
Other companions, don't want to mention the bracers.
Yeah, definitely don't want to give the bracers any good press.
Don't even want to mention the RMP.
Yeah, that's weird too.
Well, because remember, Claire brought them there when they weren't really supposed to do that.
Oh, maybe that's why.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What Towa was pointing out was what the paper didn't say, not what the paper said, which really does seem to contribute to the idea of Osborn intentionally provoking everyone in order to make them hate him.
Yeah, that conversation he had with the Emperor, it does kind of seem to indicate that he might be doing this on purpose.
Well, I thought he was doing it on purpose for some time. Like, you're the one who actually convinced me of that. But it's just weird. Rethinking Osborn is painful. I don't know if I want to do it.
But doesn't that make him an interesting character?
Well, yes, but...
I know. You just want to hate him so much.
Another thing that I think is fascinating, this factory, right? It sounds, based on their description, like it was one of the 13 factories of Ouroboros, right?
Autonomous weapon factory. They're the only ones who make archaisms, yeah.
One of the 13 factories is just sitting there on the outskirts of Crossbell. Why haven't they done anything about that? It's Imperial territory, right? Who's stopping them? But instead they go to North Ambria. Isn't that interesting? I don't have a point that I'm making, I just think it's kind of fascinating.
Yeah, I remember you actually telling me about that. That is kind of weird, because surely the government knows.
There's no way they don't. Oh, hey, Reen. Oh, hello, Randy. Are you teaching military studies? Yeah, well, Sydney was about to head out. He's still got potential. Kid shouldn't give up so easily. He just wants to run off and play games or something.
I was planning on studying some more tonight. I just figured I should relax for a bit first, like a couple hours.
You are full of crap. You better just give in. Just study and do what you're supposed to do. He's offering to lend you a hand. Just say aye and be done with.
What?
It'll be over sooner if you do it this way.
Fine.
Randy, would it be alright if I help too? You may need to get a little rough with Sydney.
I'll be good.
Oh, yeah? Sounds great to me. I just did that.
Why do these things always happen to me? This is because I keep talking to you about the girls, isn't it?
Green and Randy gave the students advice on military studies. This is what you do with a captured prisoner!
Oh God, no!
I get that the main campus is making us do this, but man, these practice questions are crazy. Didn't they take it a little easier on you back when you were a student? Well, not really. They drilled the same stuff into our heads back then, too. That said, I took a look at the questions you wrote. They're pretty well thought out. I heard the instructors at the main campus were impressed, too. Who would have known? Big bro Randy would actually be good at this whole teacher thing. Well, it's all just stuff I took from personal experience, you know?
That's why he's the head of military operations.
But hey, you know, slouch yourself in this mutual circle jerk. I saw those combat studies questions of yours. Pretty good if I do say so myself. Thanks. Maybe I have my own instructor to thank. Yeah, Purple Lightning Lady, right? She's pretty impressive too. Let's just pass out respect to everyone. Sometimes I wish I were more like her. Able to overcome anything and everything that comes her way.
Well, she didn't exactly have a rosy life either, man.
Randy. And he's just being really hard on himself too. Well, it's hard to blame him considering how awkward his position is.
Yeah.
The easiest thing for him to do is to just throw himself into it professionally. Anyhow, can't wait to have these tasks over and done with so I can go get my drink on.
Word up.
You should join me again, if you got the time, I mean. Yeah, that sounds fun, I'll let you know. Oh, how come she got so mad? I kinda focused today. Huh. It seems as though he may have gotten into a fight with Valerie. This is important because she is on the school rooftop with a green exclamation point above her head.
I think we should go talk to her.
See? Green exclamation point above her head.
Well, I didn't doubt you.
Valerie, what are you doing here?
Is there a problem?
No. I was just wondering why you weren't studying for the exams like everyone else. Everyone else has gotten together and started studying their weakest subjects.
Must I do the same thing as everyone else? Besides, exams are for measuring your average knowledge. If you crammed the day before, it's not a proper measurement.
I actually completely agree with that. Studying for me was like 30 minutes beforehand. The point is to actually learn the material, then you can do it.
Yeah, I never really had to study much either.
Well, I suppose, but I thought that Valerie had opened up a little since when she first got here, especially thanks to Leonora, but I guess she's still just as aloof as ever.
You're aloof.
I am not an object with which to wash oneself in a shower? Oh yeah, you joined the Modern Music Club, right? How's that been going? Well, that reaction says it all. Are you having some trouble with the club?
Oh, don't act like you don't know. You talk to Pablo. Let's say I am. What does it matter to you? I'd appreciate it if you quit prying into my personal matters. I've got nothing to talk with you about.
Is that so? I will not leave. I will, however, go talk to the other members of her club first, Pablo and Gustav.
Because she's probably not going to be straightforward with the information.
Hey, Gustav, can we talk? Instructor Reen, what is it? I wanted to ask you about Valerie. Did something happen in the Modern Music Club? Well, it seems like Pablo and Valerie got into a fight over something. Valerie hasn't shown up to practice since then. Somehow, I knew this would happen eventually. Oh, why's that? Well, Valerie's the kind of person who shies away from the spotlight. Not because of her personality, but more because of her upbringing. Oh? Valerie's always seemed to carry herself like a noble. That's pretty true, actually.
Yeah.
It is nice to actually see some of the characters get resolved. We don't have that much game, so...
If resolution is to come, it better come quick.
Sometimes she almost reminds me of Muse and Tatiana. Like I just said, nobles. Yeah, I get that same impression from her. Nobles are extremely rare in North Ambria these days.
That makes perfect sense given what happened with their king.
Yeah, Balmond. I wonder if she grew up being resented by those around her. It's possible. But this is all just speculation. Even though fights seem to occur, apparently I never talked to Pablo about it, so I don't know what it's about. I'll just speculate on everything. What, man? I got tests to study for. I want to make good grades. Yeah, good point. I'll need to ask her about it directly.
After all, that's why we have Reed.
Thanks, Gustav. That was a big help. No, don't mention it. I didn't do anything. Okay, now I see what's going on. Hey, Pablo. Hey, Instructor Reed! Can I help you with something?
Well, actually, I bought this model train kit, and...
I would love to talk about trains, Instructor! I wanted to ask you about Valerie. I heard you got into a big fight with her. A wee argument got way out of hand. We haven't talked since. How'd it start? I asked her to be on vocals.
For some reason, no one can understand me when I sing.
It seemed like a very weird choice for Pablo to be on vocals. Vocals? She never sings in front of people, but I've heard her sing to herself a few times, and her voice is just too good. I don't believe it's made it into the videos, but we have caught her occasionally by herself singing to herself. So I asked her to take over on vocals, even just once, you know? She wasn't having it, though. What's a wisna? I got a wee bit pissed, and next thing you know, we were going at it. I see. Come to think of it, I have heard her singing, too. I clearly remember that she had a nice voice. I know she does not want to be in the spotlight, but I just think it'd be such a big waste of talent if she did not. I know I went overboard myself, though. Problem is, I couldn't figure out how to make things right. I'm gonna try to talk to her one more time. Can you wait a little longer? Instructor Reen, cheers. I appreciate it. All right, let's try talking to Valerie one more time. If she doesn't want to be in the spotlight, isn't it weird that she did join a band where she plays on stage?
Oh, this is clearly one of those things where she's got conflicting interests, like what she wants to do, and then like pre-existing things, circumstances that fight her from doing what she wants to do. You know how it is.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if you don't want to be in the spotlight, why are you on stage? But there's a difference between lead guitar and bass player.
Instructor Schwarzer, are you still here?
Maybe you didn't notice because you were looking down, but I left and have been gone for about 10 minutes, and then I came back. I talked with Pablo and Gustav. I think you should find a way to make up with Pablo.
You're such a busybody.
Well, if it were just a normal argument, I wouldn't step in like this, but it seems like there's something you've been bottling up.
Bottling up?
Yeah. I'm sure you'll deny it, but you want to be on vocals more than anyone, don't you?
That's not true.
Well, sorry if I am being a busybody.
But that's his middle name, Reen Busybody Schwarzer.
3 games in a row. You're from a noble family in North Ambria, right?
So what if I am?
It's just that if that were the case, I can imagine the circumstances you must have endured.
Well, you're not wrong there. Back when North Ambria was still a principality, the nobility system was still in place. After the North Ambrian disaster, the government was remade and the nobility abolished, though they kept their wealth to some extent. In a poor country like ours, children born into wealth and comfort were, of course, victims of envy and spite.
Well, it's hard to blame that reaction.
Yeah, but that doesn't necessarily justify it?
No. I mean, what are you supposed to do? And what are you supposed to do if you're in that position, Valerie?
And on top of that, I have another secret. I'm in Ouroboros. The truth is, my family is related to the former Grand Prince of North Ambria, Balmond.
The former Grand Prince?
So she's got extra scorn. I'm sure you know the story. You're a history teacher after all. Grand Prince Balmond, the traitorous ruler who fled North Ambria during the disaster 28 years ago.
Nobody could have fixed North Ambria, but it would have been much better if he just wouldn't have run away from a failing country.
Even if he couldn't fix it, He did more harm running away than by staying and trying to help his people.
There is something to be said for the value of a symbol.
Apparently any family with connections to him is a family of devils, mine included.
How could they say such a thing? You didn't do anything, did you?
I came here intending to keep that a secret, but I don't care anymore. Anyway, it's probably best you not get involved with a devil. So please, Instructor, just leave me be.
I can't do that. What's the saddest thing I ever heard?
Man, you called it.
Valerie, how come you didn't tell me sooner? It's just no fair for someone who's done nothing wrong to be treated like that.
Hey, how long were you two here?
We were here pretty much the whole time. Sorry.
Well, it's more my fault for not being able to see you.
Yeah, there's not
You're right over there.
No, you can't exactly hide. Pablo and I were just worried, though.
This school's just full of busybodies. But fine, I'll let you two know as well. Nothing good will come from associating with me, so...
Shut the hell up!
Exactly!
Don't be daft!
Huh?
Yeah, hearing that stuff even made me angry. Family of devils? None of that matters in the world of rock.
Yeah!
Aye, come to think of it, it might even come in handy.
I am not biting the head off a rat.
Rock's all about the soul! Your upbringing doesn't have anything to do with! Here, Valerie, it's about time you quit bootling it all up! Take those emotions and light a fire to them! Let them blow right up!
What?
He means they want to play some rock music with you now. Alright then, I'll go get the key to the art room. You kids work this out.
Hey, what are you?
Oh, must we watch this? There's just something painful about 3D models trying to play music that isn't actually being played when it's not given the budget and attention to do so, but okay, that's the way it is, that's fine.
How did it end up like this?
No use whining, Boo-Toot!
What?
Yeah, you just gotta do it. Come on, bite the head off a rat, just like BSG's cat.
Ah, I know. Screw it.
Do-do, boo-do-do-do. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, the festival in Cold Steel 1, they like put effort into
It's
it.
actually production value, you know.
Yeah, because it was a climactic moment, but this not so much.
That's okay.
I can't lie and say it's not awkward, but I forgive them and understand. But I will not say what Reed said. Your music was almost entrancing. I'd say it was pretty darn close to professional stunts. I can't lie.
What?
Flattery won't get you anywhere.
No need to be so shy. That was a square 1,000 times better than any lyrics and follow to my gob. Nothing about trains. So from now on, you'll be focusing on vocals. You understand? Is that alright with you, Valerie?
Fine, whatever.
I guess it's too late for me to back out anymore anyway. Secret's out now.
Does that mean you'll agree to it?
Yeah, I give up.
Yes! Get in there and kick boot! I get the feeling things are only gonna get more fun from here on. I was just thinking about the nobles of North Ambria. I mean, the system was quickly abolished, but
Right.
The point was they still had, they have all their personal property, or most of it apparently. It just makes you wonder, what is your obligation in a time like that?
You mean like what do you think the nobles should have done with the crisis, or?
Yeah, there clearly wasn't anybody in the North Ambrian nobility who was able to step up and try and, if not lead the country on top, like lead the country more culturally.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also not like if a couple of wealthy people that lived there gave up every solid cent that they had, that the entire country's problems would be solved.
It wouldn't have been that easy, no. It could very well be that once the king vamoosed, that they just kind of fell apart.
Yeah,
Panicked.
that's exactly what happened. I have said before that I think Trails can be a bit too Pollyanna-ish, I largely give that a free pass because nothing else is optimistic.
Yeah. No other game I've played has ever been this optimistic. And, like, not in a cheesy way either. It doesn't do it in a cheesy way, I feel.
Well, sometimes.
Well, I mean more of a general sense. It doesn't do it cheesy.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. You know, in a time full of cynicism, it's nice to see something that isn't cynical. Having said that, it seems like North Ambria is one of the only places in Trails that there isn't anything but cynicism.
Yeah.
Do kind of wish we could have found out more about it. Are these the remains of the White Ion?
I was able to get a decent sample.
I suppose Arian Rod she just stabbed it. It's not like it was completely vaporized.
Or melted.
Yeah, like the last one.
This sample is better than the ones from Sutherland and Crossbell, but it will still take quite some time for me to analyze it.
Is that so? I mean, its abilities were intense. Spatial annihilation, moving the railway cannons via some kind of transfer or teleportation.
It's safe to say it's the culmination of the Society's Gordius series.
Potter Motter was just a flying robot with guns.
Yeah. The last I heard, its development stalled out 2 years ago, but we may need to revise our understanding.
I still don't think that you can just build a machine with such spatial control, and there has to be something that controls it or powers it.
Yeah.
Just like what Kia did before, even if it's only on a tiny artificial scale.
Yeah, if only Ouroboros had something that was known for manipulating space. In any event, your Tachi has been repaired. Check it to make sure it's as sharp as you remember.
Actually, now that you say that, Kia was able to do spatial manipulation without the Oriole. That's why I think it has more to do with that.
Okay.
But they do have the Oriole, the Septarian of space.
Right.
So that is a possibility. Okay, thank you, Professor. It's nice that we didn't have to go hunting down all these shrines for a little bit of Zemurian ore. To be honest, I thought it was going to be the end of me. I was somehow able to endure it with that mana blade thing.
It was probably some mana feedback that went through the Divine Night, but it's not reliable. Don't expect it to happen again.
Yeah, you're probably right. Anyway, thank you very much. And that is all of that.
The sky looks kind of strange. I don't like the sound of that.
We're either about to be attacked or it's just gonna rain.
Oh, okay. The Black Workshop. Seems they've finally started to show their hand.
Yeah, there's still so many things we don't know, though. It seems they possess at least 2 Divine Night-like machines, and the Society has at least one as well.
George has already spoken to me of this matter. However, as of this moment, I have nothing to tell you.
Huh. So George has spoken to him about the Black Workshop, has he? What'd he say? How much of it was the truth? And how much is Schmidt holding back?
Yeah.
You know, before we were thinking that the Black Workshop was headed by Novartis. Okay, so that seems to not be the case, but there's still some pretty unusual stuff going on with all of it, you know?
Mm-hmm. This is simply something you'll have to figure out for yourself, Ashen Awakener.
Understood. I'll keep that in mind.
The way he said that makes me suspicious.
Yeah, right? Like, there's something that he knows. Is he ever gonna tell us? What would make him tell us? Or maybe he doesn't know and just has his suspicions himself. When we had said that stuff about Novartis before, we didn't quite realize that the Black Workshop was... I mean, affiliated with the Gnomes is one thing, but apparently like the counterpart to the Phantasmal Blaze plan as like an ancient organization with goals similar to both the Gral's Ritter and Ouroboros. We didn't realize it was another player on that scale.
Yeah.
Kind of sad for Novartis, though. I guess it makes him a bit less interesting. That blonde hair, you know, it really made a good case for him being Franz Reinford, but I guess that's somebody else. Reen looked over the exams for tomorrow and saw the students off campus. After one final check to make sure everything was locked up, he prepared to head back to the dorm.
When suddenly...
Yeah, it's rain. I don't know what you thought it was. It's a lot of rain.
Are you okay, Reen? It looks like you've impaled yourself on the umbrella.
Yeah, the umbrella is clipping through his hand. When I was in Japan, every umbrella I ever had got stolen.
Really?
Yeah.
What the heck?
Looks like it's only sprinkling, but still, I'm glad I brought this umbrella. I wish it would get out of my skull, but we can't always get what we want. All the students are gone now, so maybe I'll...
Oh no! I didn't think it was raining this hard.
One of these scenes. Aww. Oh, that's... Towa!
Reen on the intercept to save the day.
Oh,
I
Reen!
was wondering if they were just gonna crash into each other.
Was it your turn to lock up today? Thanks for taking care of things.
No problem. Here, do you need an umbrella? We can share mine.
Oh, but I'm too short
It's
to
okay.
kiss you.
It's not raining that hard.
Either we share the umbrella, or I hand it over to you. Whichever you prefer.
I love when Reen says stuff like that with that...
That's not fair. You're not giving me much of a choice.
With that, like, aggressive smile. Like, stay away from my sister
Fine.
Patrick.
You win. We'll share the umbrella. Just don't get your shoulder wet from trying to give me more cover, okay?
Ah, no worries. After all, you're so tiny.
My, I wonder what you were about to say.
Tine. It's, I don't know what tine is. I like how she gave it right back to him.
You used to be so much more straightforward and innocent,
Before the aggressive smiling.
and now you're giving me impossible choices like this. You've grown up, but in a bad way.
Sorry. But knowing you, you gave your umbrella to a student in need,
Wayne really needed it.
and then lied to them about having a spare so they wouldn't feel guilty.
Were you watching?
I figured it was Wayne, yeah. I just knew you wouldn't forget to bring an umbrella. And it started raining so suddenly, it's an easy situation to imagine.
Jeez, you're banned from making weirdly accurate guesses like that, too.
What about BSG? Can we make weirdly accurate guesses?
I can't really do anything about them. Reen, you're still only 20. You could stand to be a little more innocent. Even though we're colleagues, don't forget I'm still a year older than you.
I don't really understand what you're saying, but okay. But I think going through all that changed me a bit.
Huh?
What did he mean by that? All the harem-y antics? Nothing, sorry. Let's head back. Or did you need to stop by somewhere first?
No, I'm fine going straight home.
So the political economics exam is with Vice Principal Heinrich from the main campus.
I remember Heinrich, he was pretty cool.
I always liked him. He seems like he's a stuck-up jerk, but he really wasn't.
But he's a stickler for the rules, but he cares about everyone.
Yeah, and it was also highly amusing that he was a Larkon Shell, I'm sorry, that's a band, the Archon Shell super fan.
Yes, his expertise was a big help in making the exam. You're in charge of history and combat skills, right?
Yeah, I worked with Instructor Beatrix, and one of the new instructors is the main campus. It's kind of funny how Beatrix helped with the combat, but I guess she can. Seemed like they were just as manically busy as we are.
I suppose it's no wonder after Principal Van Dyke and Instructor Thomas both left. But Instructor Makarov and Instructor Mary are still there and giving it their all. But this really brings me back. 2 years ago, Instructor Sarah and Instructor Neidhart were there giving exams too.
Yeah, seems like just yesterday. It feels like all the recent government policies are really putting a focus on the military. That's an understatement.
Right?
Nevertheless, it's reassuring to know our old instructors are still at it, doing everything they can. That's messed up about Van Dyke. We have heard hide nor hair from him, but the only thing we do know is that he was called back into active duty, for crying out loud.
And then just, like, sent somewhere.
Like, I get that he is still quite mighty in his old age, but he is not a young man. He's pretty old.
When the Soldats attacked Trista, he stepped out with his sword.
Like I said, he's quite mighty, and in his prime, he must have been... Well, nobody's Aurelia, but... Still, calling a 70-year-old man into active military duty, if he's already retired...
Yeah.
I am a little worried about the upcoming field exercises in North Ambria, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to have to work hard to catch up to them. By the way, Angie and George are both back in Erebonia now.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah, that's right. Are they both in Ruhr right now?
Yes, I believe so. But they must both be busy. I couldn't get in touch with either of them.
That's not ominous or anything.
I still don't think George killed Angie.
No, I don't think he killed her either, but there's no way that she just got to walk away.
Yeah. Thinking about those two makes me a little jealous.
Oh, does it?
It's clear how much they mean to each other.
It is, isn't it? It seems like a lot of people missed it, but they've got something of a special relationship. Remember in Cold Steel 1 at the dance? The very first thing that happened was Angelica in a dress walks up to George and is like, get up and dance with me now.
Yeah.
And Angie was going to go to St. Estrella Girls' School, where it seems like she'd become a superhero.
But then she met George and followed him to Thor's.
The only reason she went to Thor's was because she found out George was going to Thor's.
Uh-huh.
And then George's reactions to Angie, especially when she was in danger in Cold Steel 2, whether they've admitted it to themselves or not, there's something going on there. Huh? Well, sure, but... George isn't really Angelica's, type, right?
Rain, buddy, you can be as blind as you want about your own relationships because you're a harem protagonist, unfortunately. But come on.
Whatever type Angie may be attracted to, aggressively so, that doesn't really have anything to do with who you fall in love with, right?
Yeah, you're right.
The way that I've looked at it since Cold Steel 1 was that George was the person who just treated her like normal. He didn't care about her position. He didn't care about her weird, aggressive, romantic antics.
Right.
He just treated her utterly normally. And, you know, Angie does everything her own way. That's what she said. She will do things her way, come hell or high water. You can't make her do anything. That was the thrust of her conflict with her father, Marquis Ragnar. You just can't put her in a box. You put her in a box and she screams and does everything she can to break out of that box. But if you wait for her to come and make a decision, she makes a good decision.
And she sticks with it.
Yeah, she competently filled for House Ragnar at the Imperial Provincial Council. She never rejected her duty. She just wasn't going to be forced into her duty.
Yeah, that's the important thing.
And so it seems to me that going her own way, even though she's attracted to the fine arts ladies, that actually going for the dumpy, nice, smart guy, that's also going her way. We don't know everything that's going on with Mr. G Gnome.
Right.
But George is an amazingly talented, extremely influential, very competent person. He's outstanding in every way. It's not like he's just some schlubbo neckbeard.
Right.
And leave it to someone who only does things that no one else expects to like someone like that. Who knows to what degree, but there is some attraction there. Then again, considering the way they look dancing together by the bonfire after the school festival, in a dress...
Well, they've known each other a long time, so maybe I'm just reading too much into it. But still, I can't help but feel like their relationship is a little different from just two friends. The difference in their social classes might be a problem to some, but if something did happen between them, I'd be the first to congratulate them.
Angie obviously gives no F's about social classes.
Yep.
And neither does George.
Yeah.
Angie got along with the miners and Brewer, but George may have been one of the first people to just treat her like a person with no preconceptions, didn't care about the social class at all.
Yeah. I think Crow would have felt the same way.
I'm sure he was always cheering him on. Yeah. He'd probably congratulate them, then tease them relentlessly, especially Angie.
He would do that. Reen, you know you don't need to worry about your family or that masked person all on your own, right? If you ever need to talk, you've got not only the old Class 7 and Instructor Sarah, but the members of the new Class 7 as well. And of course, I'm always willing to lend you an ear too.
Towa, do you happen to know about my father?
Yeah, a little bit. I didn't hear it from Class 7 or Sarah or anything like that, but judging by Major Claire's behavior, I can make a guess.
Kind of surprising Reen never said anything to her, but...
Really?
Yeah.
That's surprising to you?
Well, to Towa of all people, or maybe that she would have asked, but, well, Reen holding in all his problems is an ironclad law of causality. I see. You would be able to tell, wouldn't you?
Oh,
Looks like it cleared up.
Wow.
Yeah. You can see the stars shining so clearly now.
Yeah, maybe the clouds all got blown away?
This reminds me of that scene in Nord, in Cold Steel 1, where Elisa and Reen are like laying at the grass looking up at the starry sky.
Thanks for helping me out. Reminds me of when we went shopping together as students.
Ah, no! Bad memories! Bad!
yeah.
Oh, wow. That feels like ages ago now. That was when you helped me figure out what to do for the school festival.
Mm-hmm. And then I showed you the video of our concert from the year before.
Yeah. yeah.
Oh, wait. Let's just forget about that.
I still want to know how they talked Towa into wearing that. Well, I doubt I'll ever be able to forget the sight of you in that outfit.
Reen, you're such a meanie.
But jokes aside, can we talk more sometime? I'd like to tell you some things. Things like my father, about what happened at the Infernal Castle, about what happened after you graduated. I want you to know the whole story from start to finish. Isn't this a death flag?
For Reen?
For Towa!
Oh.
Especially after what just happened to Angie.
Oh, maybe so.
Of course. I'd love that.
You just can't say stuff like that! First day of midterms! So what are we going to be doing? Do we have to, administer the tests correctly?
Surely they're not going to ask us to answer the questions.
Then again, we got the studying for the test exactly the same as in every other high school RPG, so we're probably still going to answer the questions.
What bull! I thought we graduated from that when we became the instructor.
History! My favorite subject. Make sure... Oh, I can't read it! In the events leading up to the War of the Lions in 947, which prince declared himself the next emperor following the assassination of Crown Prince Manfred?
Orthos, right?
Yeah, Orthros.
I see. We're answering as the students.
I figured it was going to be something like that. Excellent. Physics. Which of the following statements about the effect of gyroscopic spin on bullets is true? Yes. A bullet spinning clockwise, i.e. right, skews right.
Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Military studies.
There is no instructor. Oh, he's at the back.
He's there to shoot deserters. Choose the most efficient way of moving a squad during a siege battle.
While engaging, attack from behind.
Because none of the others even make sense. Political economics.
Something, something, something capital gain.
Or is it income gain? What is the term for profit generated via selling stocks and bonds? Oh, this is neat because they're throwing you for a loop. This wasn't the question that they talked about.
But Reen also, see capital gain.
Right, but I mean, it's capital gain. I know that.
Lenora, you okay there, sweetie?
What was she doing?
Her hand and the surface she was writing on was above the desk. Like flat about 6 inches above the desk.
Wow! Oh, this is interesting. We have to listen to the song and give it a name? Well, Reen said to Altina that she had prepared the test in such a way as that memorization would not solve it.
Yeah.
What? Give it a name?
Can we get this one wrong? I kind of feel like Broken Wings. Doesn't this feel kind of sad?
It's not a lurking shadow or grand fear. That's ridiculous.
It feels kind of sorrowful, doesn't it?
Yeah, I agree. The only reason that you think Broken Wings is that the broken part, right? Is that it's sad, because it does sound sad, but...
I could see how Look to the Sky might also work, like looking to the sky with longing, maybe?
Yeah, because there's nothing about this that actually says wings. Broken, sure, but not the wings.
Well, yeah, but there's nothing about this that says sky either, but we're talking about an emotional connection here. How could someone answer this question wrong? It's a purely subjective question.
Don't worry about this. No, I think it's the wistfulness more than the sad.
Okay, but if it isn't, I'm a laugh.
Deride me. Deride me.
That didn't sound like a positive to me.
Combat skills. During a disaster, ensuring a source of clean water is imperative. Which of these is the correct order to create a water filter?
Oh.
Well, you know, we found it laying around.
Yeah. Cloth, charcoal, sand, and pebbles.
Yeah. So the question is, who's gonna score the worst? I'm really interested in the grades. I get really invested in stuff like this.
Probably Sydney. I hate to say it, but he doesn't handle pressure very well.
It probably will not be Wayne. But I hope Wayne gets his goal. He stated it in the study stuff.
Top 50.
But I would guess Leonora, Wayne, Sydney, Yuna are gonna be the lower people.
Yeah, probably.
What do you think for the top? Kurt and Ash each have a great shot at
Muse.
it. And Muse, yeah.
Muse is also very capable. Maybe Maya? Tatiana?
I don't think Maya for the top. Tatiana is a good call.
Kyrie?
If Wayne scores in the top 20, I am going to do a dance on his behalf. And by the principal's decree, a special class was held that afternoon to allow the students to relax and celebrate the end of their exams.
That's called a party.
I'll say.
Not a bad view.
Oh my God, Principal Aurelia. How daring.
And she's got some buff abs.
She's the perfect human.
Yes, she is. I'm looking around at everybody. Altina looks like she's either afraid or full of determination. And you don't need to say anything about the trio in the front.
Right.
The scarred up Reen and Randy.
Good Lord.
Don't forget, we are still in the middle of class.
Instructor Reen, please help me work on my swimming form. Muse?
Hey! Why are you trying to drag him into the changing room?
40 Arj. This time for sure.
Yeah, determination.
You can do it, Altina!
What a nice little pool party.
Agreed. Everyone sure is lively.
I'm sure they need to unwind after how hard they all worked.
Pablo's in the back getting food from Celestin.
However, if we're calling this a class, there should be some semblance of structure to it.
At least he is wearing a swimsuit.
Or perhaps a competition. One we can only hold here.
Of course this is what she thinks, and of course she will win it.
Oh, of course!
I've some ice-cold drinks available for any parched throats out there.
With the festive post-exam mood in the air, Reen and Class 7 deepened their bonds with the other classes. Eventually, Aurelia arranged for a competition between Reen, Randy, and Michael. As the competition reached its fiercest point, the special class came to an end.
But what was the competition? Swimming?
Probably.
A swimsuit competition?
I guess it is nice to relax after everything that just happened.
Yeah. Exams and then swimming. I'm mentally and physically exhausted.
However, you seem to have enjoyed yourself. We saw an incredible matchup between... What kind of matchup?
Yeah, we don't know.
So I'd say it was a successful lesson. What strange pictures.
How did I end up here too? Jeez, we're in the same class, so at least try to pretend you like to hang out with us sometimes. Tita, Yuna, this cheesecake you two made is simply divine.
Isn't it interesting how Tita's hanging out with him?
Yeah.
And how Tita was kind of pushed up into the forefront of the previous scene? And how one of the new load game screens features Tita? I feel as though something is going to happen involving Tita.
Perhaps.
It goes well with Mr. Celestin's iced coffee, too. Agreed, it's incredible. I dare say you could open up a shop.
Aw, you think? It really isn't that hard to make. It's cool and light, perfect for the hot summer weather. Tomorrow's a free day, but then next weekend we've got field exercises. And I heard Panzer Soldat training's on Wednesday. Seems like they usually tell us where the field exercises are on Soldat training day. But if we're shipping out next weekend, it's going to be real short notice this time. Maybe the exam's screwed with the schedule. That's right. We need more time to prepare.
Perhaps they're making things more difficult for us since we've gotten used to the pace.
I wouldn't put it past her.
No way. This is a school technically, and it does technically do school things.
That's true.
It's probably because they need them to do something, which is really what this school is for. Still, only 2 days to prepare is a bit too difficult.
Well, I suppose we've no choice but to wait until Wednesday to find out. And that will also be the day we'll find out our exam results.
Darn it! I want to know now!
Don't remind me. I made so many mistakes. I'm actually looking forward to seeing the rankings.
Oh, Tita. Tita's a great
Oh,
candidate
yeah,
for
she's
top
really
slot.
smart.
Like, she's got to be really high up there. The exams are over and done with. No sense fretting over them now.
Well, look at you, Mr. Honor Student. Of course you wouldn't be worried.
The thing is, Ash, you could have totally gotten a perfect score, and maybe you even did. The question is how much you cared. Aren't you just as confident about your results, Ash?
What are you talking about? I'm confident about everything I do. I'm just gonna go full throttle tomorrow so I don't think about my score. Oh, wait, you've got keep training too, huh?
Yes, though it will depend on the professor. I suppose he could cancel it, but I would definitely like to participate. I need to keep my senses honed. Agreed. The naval fortress proved very effective for that.
That makes it even more regrettable that we were unable to join the instructor's team.
You guys would have gotten crushed.
Well...
I know we're nowhere near their level, but...
Speak for yourself. Everyone.
See, doesn't it seem like there's a lot going on?
Yeah, I agree. Oh, right. Speaking of the keep,
However, considering that I really like Tita, this is nothing but a welcome development. A very, very welcome development.
there was something I wanted to ask all of you in Class 7.
A welcome development! Right? Right?
I'm not disagreeing with you!
Great job, everyone. Their answers are written so well, I can tell they really understood everything. I don't want to start sounding like Instructor Thomas, but as an instructor, seeing this couldn't make me happier.
Now go on about the history of beats for 5 hours.
Sorry, I was thinking about the history of beats.
Oi!
I don't have anything pithy to say, they're just beats. Tomorrow's a free day, and we've got our briefing at 3 p.m. They're going to address a short amount of prep time being given. It would make sense if the location was... No, don't jump to conclusions. I'm assuming it's Heimdall.
Right, that would only make sense.
Considering how every other chapter starts. Grum, 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 grum.
Ooh, arts buff.
Oh, wow. This is really good. It's no virtuoso meat pie, but what is? Yuna and Tita really outdid themselves with this no-bake cheesecake, they called it? Automatic window!
He opened it with the power of his mind.
It's 8:30, and I've made some good progress with my grading. Maybe I should go out and cool off a bit, get some fresh air. Oh yeah, they were wearing that old student council armband in the testing.
Oh, I hadn't noticed.
I actually wore it in Cold Steel 1. It's ridiculous because it floats outside their arm. I can never forget it. Oh, that is some top-class clipping!
Well, Aurelia is the master of clipping.
There we go, nice and casual.
Hey!
I suppose we will get to the next one next time, because they've all been really long lately because, you know, into climax, chapter.
Hard to find a stopping point.
Right, so you're just gonna have to suck it up with your 56 minutes or whatever. No, we'll see you next time. We'll try to make as much progress through the free day as we can. We don't really know how long it's gonna take because we're gonna show everything that's worth showing. We don't know what's worth showing. Excuses. Stuff.
Good night, everyone.
I'm gonna go stand in the corner. There is no deeper meaning to this. I'm so sorry.